Hey everybody, Brad Linder back at you again with another live card of the day. So I'm going to share this over with the page real quick, and then we are going to knock this bad boy out. It is BirdMan from the 1960s Hanna-Barbera line. I am a huge fan of this. Always have been, always will be. This one is pretty special to me because this is one of my favorite cartoons of all time, and it does cross over into the comics realm. IDW has it right now through licensing for the comics, and I think that is I believe that's a DC property right now, but we'll never know. You know, they always switch up, and we never know such things until the last minute. But anyway, nonetheless, I'm gonna knock this out. I have Space Ghost and MANHUNTER in this collection. The Galaxy Trio I have in this collection. I haven't colored them yet. I did color MANHUNTER, but I have not worked around to the others just yet. So bear with me on that. We are going to get there. We are going to get there. But I have been saving them for another couple of lives and for feeds and whatnot, and holding back on them to knock other stuff out because got everything coming into play here, from comics to podcasts to everything else, including the sketchbook that these go in. You guys are going to dig that. I can't wait to release this thing. I get asked all the time when I'm going to do it, and I'm trying to hit 365 before I do, but who knows? I may do multiple volumes. I've been asked to do double volumes and keep this going beyond that, and we'll see how it goes. But for today, we're just going to knock this out and see where it goes from here and get BirdMan on the roster of done. So he has kind of an off bright orange suit, and it's just a typical 60s style hero. So he's got the unitard thing going on with the accents, you know, kind of like Space Ghost, because it was by the same designers that developed him at Hanna-Barbera, and they came out with basically these guys in unitards and came up with these accented costumes for them that were very bright and whatnot, and they did not fail. They did not miss. Hanna-Barbera nailed it on just about everything they did, including the Super Friends and Marvel. Excuse my raspy voice tonight. I'm not getting the flu or anything, but man, it's just settled in my stomach and my ribs, and it's making my back hurt, you know, achy and everything. And then my allergies are kicking up big time, and that's what's doing that. But it makes me feel hungry when I'm not, kind of thing, because it makes my muscles sore and stuff from coughing and whatnot. But it's almost like a stomach pain. It's weird. It's almost like a hunger, but I know it's not. It's my abs being sore. But anyway, if you guys have allergies and flu symptoms, they go hand in hand, so you'll know what I'm talking about there. Oh, let's see what's going on. I have a little bit of reference there, and I wanted to make sure I got it right. I don't normally use reference, but I want to make sure when I color these classic ones, I like to get the feel right on them, so I check before and after. But I didn't remember if this was the lighter yellow or if it went darker, but it is the lighter yellow, so we're good to go. I'm not against reference, and you know, when I draw, I don't like using it because then I intimidate myself with you know, trying to compete with the artist that goes on to do the piece or what I'm referencing, and you know, and then I tend to imitate them and try to replicate what they're doing, and I don't like doing that. I like to do original poses. So when I do reference, I don't draw from any picture, because that tends to lean towards that very heavily with me. So I don't, because like I said, if I do, I end up mimicking and not coming up with an original creation, and I don't like doing that. So because naturally I'm one of those see and draw guys, and I don't like to do that. I like to use my imagination and draw it fresh, draw it real, draw it from my head, not anybody else's. So that's how I knock that out. It's how I do it, man. But anyway, let's see here. We've got the yellow down, and I've left a couple of highlight spaces in there on purpose. And then we're going to go with this blue, because I like it better than the other one. And I think it'll contrast this very well. I don't know why he has a blue mask down underneath, but he does. So you think that yellow would run right up through there, through the collar piece, and go from that, but they wanted to darken it up and give him a cowl, so there we go. There you have it, Birdman. It's Birdman blue. So we have that going on. And this right in here is going to be red. The wings here, they are, believe it or not, a super light blue on the outskirts like this. They're white, but they have a very high-end blue accent like this. Because Hanna-Barbera was known for not, that studio was prominent and known for not leaving anything unturned, and they wanted everything to have color. They were definitely against negative space. They did not want you to have negative space on the screen. So they colored everything. I mean, even their clouds had really strict color codes and grays and pinks and purples and stuff that had to be used in them. Now this goes just a little bit dark on the interior, because these wings, there's a segment in here that's actually darker than his mask, just a little bit. It's more of a gray hue, but what I'm going to go for is a nice dark shadowed blue here. You can see where I went through with the pencil lines on the card and stuff. See the little faded spots? Now I'm going to color this kind of broad stroked here, because I don't want to go over the whole thing inch by inch, because it's not going to saturate it. The broader strokes will definitely take it out there for not having to worry about that. And that wing goes off the screen there, so that's going to be the outskirts of the wing. That's why I'm going to leave that open, and I'll put some of this lighter blue in there for that. But he's got these major dark sections inside the feathers here, and what I think that was is it was just kind of to break it up and give it some more value without really messing with it too much. Because like I said, it was an animation thing. Everything's about making your eye pop and disturbing the eye to make it look like everything is standing on its own. They definitely had magic going on with that stuff. Those guys knew what they were doing. So we have that going on. And just to be cool with down here, I'm going to kind of spritz this out, because I didn't want to draw all the wings and feathers and all that in down here. And it's not that I didn't follow through. It's just I don't want to clutter it up by just coloring that out, because it's not the way it's supposed to be. So there we go. Now I'm going to take this gray here, go right around the edge of this mask. And most of the young people that watch this will be thinking that this is BirdMan, Harvey Birdman, attorney at law, like the Space Ghost Coast to Coast kind of fun stuff that they did for a little while on the Cartoon Network. I'm not really with that. Vic and Kevin P. West. Hey, buddy. Thanks for coming on, man. But as I was saying, though, I'm not really one to like that too much. So, you know, I didn't see them as humorous. I saw them as heroes, even though I still watch them in syndication just like everybody else. But, you know, there are people out there that are hardcore fans for these things, and they get mad when they see, you know, these revamps. Of course, nobody likes to see their original childhood version ripped apart and then rebuilt into something that is totally diversified and interesting in another direction. You know what I mean? So it's like, you tore my cartoon apart, you meanie, you meanie. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and I normally like to leave them like this, but because it's BirdMan, I'm going to go right up here behind, and I wanted to do it that way with a very cool orange, but I don't want to contrast against his suit. So what I'll do is I'll put in this 60s style bright hot pink purple-esque type of color, which would have been done in the cartoon itself. So just like with my tour, it had that bright green. So got that going on. Stay in the lines. So, so cool stuff. Knocking this bad boy out. And another thing, I got to ink a bunch of these today and yesterday, and I really dug it. I've got Orko over here. I've got He-Man over here. I've got a bunch of the Masters from the collection. I've got let's see, I've got the Grifter from Wildcats. That's awesome. I've got him ready to go, and so many more. I've just Evil Ernie's on the table. I'm just kind of glancing over as I'm coloring a little bit of this here. But there we have it. This is a pretty quick one, folks. I'm glad we got it done. I'm pleased with it. How about you? So, anyway, we're well over 300 now, a couple episodes in, 3 or 4 now over that marker. And like I said, I want to go with the 365 range at the bare minimum for this series and get them knocked out. And we've got a little bit to go, so we're going to keep pushing it, and then I'm going to put out the sketchbook, and then we'll push through another volume. I got some new material coming up, a lot of how-to stuff, and we're going to start that with the new month as well here in a couple of days. So you guys hang tight on that, and got a lot more coming for you. So I hope you dug it. I appreciate you hanging out with me, especially so late, since I'm trying to get back to that 2 to 4 p.m. Central window. I dig it. Thank you very much. So appreciative of all the shares and likes, and you guys just hanging out. That's just fine too. So until the next one, I appreciate it. We've got this big rocket that we inherited. You know what to do with it. So talk to you tomorrow. See ya.